you from Rancho Paco in Ocala, Florida, it's He's No Mickey Mantle with your hosts, George and Jordan.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to He's No Mickey Mantle. Today we're going to be giving our MLB preseason preview as well as going over the NCAA Baseball Top 25.
It's that time of year again. The pitchers and catchers are ready to report. NCAA baseball starts next week. I'm excited about both those things happening. So we'll get into the top 25, preseason top 25, NCAA, and then we'll talk about our favorite, beloved New York Yankees.
Yep.
So I'm going to jump right into the top 25. This is the preseason poll for the Division I, NCAA Division I, college baseball. At number 1, we have LSU, Louisiana State University. Number 2, Tennessee. Number 3, Stanford. Number 4, Ole Miss. Number 5, Texas A&M. Number 6, Wake Forest. Number 7, University of Florida. Number 8, Arkansas. Number 9, Oklahoma State. And number 10, Vanderbilt. So that's your top 10 so far. Those are basic powerhouses of the sport. The same teams that have always been there and have been there. So the preseason voters think that the teams that are good will remain good. Let's continue with the top 25. At number 11 comes in East Carolina. At number 12, North Carolina. And number 13, Maryland. That's quite a surprise to me. Maryland is not your traditional powerhouse. But it's good to see a non-traditional school in there. Virginia Tech comes in at number 14. At number 15, you have TCU. At 16, Louisville. 17, UCLA. 18, Southern Miss. 19, Virginia. And number 20, Alabama. So we are seeing, again, same schools as usual and the same culprits. The teams that are always good. Virginia is a bit of a surprise in there. Southern Miss was very good last year. They're making another appearance in the top 25. At 21, we have North Carolina State. Hopefully they make a nice run for it. They were that COVID incident a couple of years back in the World Series, or to get to the World Series really caught them off guard, and it wasn't fair to them. So I hope they do well this year. Coming in at number 22 is the University of Miami. I feel they're a little low.
I think they're always ranked a little low, but they got a stud lineup, so I think they'll move up pretty quickly.
They got Rosario. That kid throws fire.
Yeah, Rosario, and they got Yandy Morales. He's a top 50 prospect for the MLB. So.
Yeah, no, I think Miami's gonna be better than 22. At number 23, we have South Carolina, the Gamecocks of South Carolina. 24, Texas Tech. And rounding out the top 25 at number 25 is Oregon. Those schools, like I said, no games have been played yet, so this is just the preseason. Once games start playing, this will all be shifted and start changing. But what jumps out at me from this top 25 is all those SEC schools. SEC baseball, best in the country by far.
Yep.
You got 9 out of the 12 SEC schools that play baseball.
And I think I counted 7 of them in the top 25. 10. I believe 7 of the 9 are in the top 10 too.
That's crazy. So we're gonna definitely head up to Gainesville, catch some Gator games, see that SEC, because that conference is where it's at in the baseball world. The SEC is not, ACC is not too much of a slouch themselves. They got 7 out of 12 of the 12 programs in the top 25.
Yeah, I think ACC's the little brother of SEC. They're always right there.
ACC has been, known as a basketball conference. What this is telling me here is they're a baseball conference.
I think so. Yeah.
Those schools. I mean, they got Wake Forest as high as number 6.
Mm-hmm.
So those teams are in the ACC are pretty tough.
Miami, who usually falls somewhere in the top 10 in the middle of the season. So
then you got your perennial California schools. 3 out there in the Pac-12. You got Stanford, that's always a powerhouse, and UCLA in the top 25. So that should be interesting to see those schools out there. And Oregon squeaks in at 25. And you also have the Big 12 representing well. 4 out of the 8 institutions that play baseball in the Big 12 are there. So that's pretty impressive from the Big 12. And the 2 schools that are not ranked in that some of the that are leading the program, that are leading the conference to go to the SEC next year, Oklahoma and Texas, they are not ranked. So you can't even count those big time players as. So that's where your boys are going to be playing next year.
Yeah, UCF will be joining the Big 12 next year.
They're going to have their hands full because that conference is stacked. Then you got one Big 10 school, like I said, Maryland, the big surprise. Big 10 schools are usually not very good at baseball. The cold weather hampers that a little bit for them. Usually you see Michigan, the Big 10 representative in the top 25, but not this time. It's Maryland, pretty high up at number 13. So we'll see how their season plays out if they could stay in the top 25. And then you got one Sun Belt team in Southern Miss. Like I said, Southern Miss was good last year. They're just improving more this year. I'm interested in seeing Conference USA. Well, that's the conference where my school, FIU's at. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. They have a new head coach in Rich Witten, which is pretty cool. I think I'd like to see us change direction in the program and see what they could come up. Interested to see if FAU could get back into the mix. They're always pretty good. Liberty is now a Conference USA team. They've been good in the past. So there's several schools that are going to contend for the top notch of Conference USA, and I'm excited to see how FIU stacks up. And before we move into the Yankees preview that we have, my school, FIU, has a bit of a connection with the Yankees. Junior infielder Dante Girardi is on that team. Dante Girardi, you know the name. That's Coach Girardi's son. So he's in there. And then we also have junior pitcher Orlando Hernandez, El Duque's boy, pitching also. So I'm excited to see that. Maybe head down to Miami and check out FIU and see if El Duque's there. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that. So now let's go into our Yankees preview. It's a big season for the Yankees. The off-season moves that the Yankees made were not a whole lot. It was a lot, but it wasn't a whole lot.
They were vital moves, though, to continue to improve that team and to make sure that we held on to the guys that they needed most.
Well, they definitely needed to re-sign Judge. We re-signed Judge, and they did that. That was... No matter what it took, it had to be done. There's no way, us as Yankee fans, people in New York, no way they were going to sit by and let Judge walk away without any kind of
that city would have rioted
of an issue with the team. They re-signed Rizzo, which is very important. I think he's a big important part of the team. Makes the whole infield better, especially if you're going to lean more towards a younger infield. That we'll talk about that in a little bit. That Gold Glove at first base makes a difference. He's definitely a leader in the clubhouse and a big part of that team, and I'm excited to see him get back in. What else did the Yankees do?
So from what I see here, they got Bader for the rest of the season. in center.
They got a whole year of Bader. Hopefully,
which is a defensive lock.
Yeah, that dude. He had a great postseason. He hit lights out in the postseason, but he's more of a glove. And so I'm excited to see what he does for this year.
And then aside from Judge, my favorite pickup this offseason had to be Carlos Rodon.
Oh, that's a big time.
For several reasons. I mean, he adds just this fight into that rotation. He adds another southpaw, which is great because now him and Nestor will have two lefties, 3 righties, which is not a lot of rotations have, so that's very good. And I think he's definitely one of the best pitchers in baseball right now. So having him and having Cole, who could put up a Cy Young season whenever he can, that's definitely going to be good to watch.
Definitely Rodon, number 2 behind Cole. That's big time for the team. It's a second ace, period. Basically a second ace. That dude, he's tough, and I'm ready to see what he brings to the Bronx. We'll see what goes on there. They reunited with Tommy Canely, big time reliever. Did well the first time in New York. Went off to he was with LA now.
Yep.
Was doing well. I think they added to the strength of the bullpen. I think our pitching is the strength of the team right now.
Yep.
Both starting and in relief. Unfortunately, Frankie Montas is out for the entire first month of the season. So that's some question that's going to have to be answered now in spring training when they start. Who's going to replace him as a 5th starter?
And I think it'll be Domingo Yerman.
He's
been in that role before.
I've heard Domingo. So. I've heard Clark Schmidt might get a shot. Let's see. Let's play it out in the spring training and see who gets it. Maybe it's a guy we don't know about. Or maybe somebody comes out of the blue and claims that spot. But it's definitely, I think it's between those 2 guys.
Also, the big question: who's going to be the starting shortstop?
Well, IKF is penciled in there right now.
IKF's penciled in by Boone, but the fans want Volpe. We want to see the rookie.
You got 2 rookies that have a shot at getting in there. You got Volpe and you got Peraza, both shortstops. Hopefully one of them wins the job. Because I think they need a new spark. The Yankees definitely need a new spark. So that's one of the big questions that they got coming into the spring training. The shortstop position. Who will get it? Will one of the kids step up and claim it?
You look back a couple years ago when Gleyber and Miguel Andujar were rookies. They both had great seasons. So I think they gotta give Volpe a shot. I think IKF was all right. Defensively, he wasn't great. He was definitely a contact hitter, and he would get on base. But I want to give the shot to the
I prefer having the young guy in there. It's time. You've passed up, 2-3 seasons now without acquiring a big-time shortstop that has been available. Carlos Correa twice.
They were going after Trevor Story a couple years ago.
Dansby was out there. Trevor Story was out there. All these cats are out there, and they said, nope, we're not. We have our young guys in waiting.
They could have acquired Trey Turner, but he went to Philadelphia.
We have our young guys in waiting. I think it's time now to stop the waiting and pick one of those guys up and move them there. Another big question mark, Josh Donaldson. What's up with him?
I think he needs to be benched. I think he had a horrible season last year. Let's be honest.
Cashman has said he's the starter.
You can't expect to win with the same team that you had last year because you didn't. You got swept by Houston. All right. They can't leave the same guys.
That's what I question with our off-season moves. If it's enough. You added 2 pitchers. Pitching wasn't the problem. The offense was the problem. They couldn't hit. That's why they lost. They didn't lose because they couldn't pitch against the Astros. They lose because they couldn't hit against the Astros.
They couldn't get any runs.
That's why they lost. But and they didn't address anything different. So now you're hoping that the youngsters come in and take care of it.
We also got to remember we'll have LeMahieu back healthy, which is a key role in that lineup.
For me, if I was the manager, I'd start LeMahieu at third base.
That's what I would do. The same thing. I would put LeMahieu at third. I'd give Volpe the shot at short, Gleyber at second, and Rizzo at first. And
bring Peraza in as the utility, the LeMahieu role.
Yeah.
But I'm not running the team. Boone is, and hopefully, they're saying all these things that they're gonna run it back, and they're doing all these guys.
I think if Volpe pops off
and
Josh Donaldson in spring training, there's no reason why they don't give it to
Cashman. Thinks that Donaldson is gonna have a bounce back year. That guy hasn't seen a fastball down the plate that he likes to swing at. He's terrible. He's horrible.
He's washed.
He is washed. I think he's washed. I think I would have DFA'd him a long time ago, but you basically took him on, took IKF on, so Minnesota could get Correa.
And Gio Urshela.
Come on, man. You gave away Gio Urshela.
Who's way better at third base.
But that's not washed like this cat is.
Yeah.
So I would start Donaldson at third. What I've been hearing a lot and seeing a lot is if one of the kids gets a shortstop gig, they'll move IKF to third. Why would I want to move IKF anywhere? I'd put him on the bench and have him as a bench player coming in to relieve these guys.
I would utilize him as what they've been doing with LeMahieu, moving him around the infield when the guy needs to get a day off.
Yep.
And I'd permanently put LeMahieu at third to have that bat in the lineup as much as possible. And then obviously have Gleyber at second because I think he's solidified that role pretty well.
I think Gleyber, a lot of people want to trade Gleyber. A lot of fans want to get rid of Gleyber.
Gleyber is streaky, but when he's hot, like Stan, he's hot and he's on it.
The dude could hit when, like you say, when he's on. Second base is his position. He's not a liability there like he was at shortstop.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing for him there. Again, unless one of those kids has such a great spring training that you can't say no and you got to put him somewhere. So we'll see about that. Big glaring hole I think the Yankees have, left field.
Yeah, I was just going to touch on that. We both talked about this. Why not start Stanton in left field? He's been an MVP in right field. He's played outfield his whole career. He's
Gold Glove
caliber player. Why not play him in left field as much as you can? It prevents him from getting injured because it has his muscles moving a lot more. He doesn't get as cold. And I honestly think that he hits better when he's in the field. I don't know what it is, but
he's more engaged in the game.
Yeah, he's more active and he's more, I don't know, I think he's sharper when he's out there in the field.
We saw a lot of Stanton when he was with the Marlins. When he was with the Marlins, we saw a lot of him. I saw him every day when he was with the Marlins.
Yeah, and he couldn't DH because there was no DH in the NL at the time.
And that dude was the man. He won an MVP. That guy would hit. He could field. He had a strong arm.
Yeah,
what's the big deal of putting him out there? Oh, he's going to get hurt. He gets hurt batting. What's the difference? It makes no sense.
Hicks gets hurt every season and they still put him out there, so what's the difference?
And they're still talking about, Hicks going to have a comeback season. No, he's not. Hicks is washed too.
The guy had
Donaldson, Hicks, get those guys out of here, man.
One good season in 2017, that's it.
Get those dudes out of here, and he got paid for it. Those guys are done, man. If you're going to play those games, put Cabrera out there. Oswaldo Cabrera, I'd rather see him out there. Give him a shot. He's not worse than this Hicks. Talking about putting Hicks out there. Well, don't put Hicks anywhere. Put Hicks in
another team.
Picking up trash somewhere. He's terrible. I don't know. So do all these things that the Yankees have done, do you think they have enough right now to overcome the Astros?
I think right now it doesn't look like it on paper. I think we got to see how the season plays out and how well they do. Obviously, I mean, their pitching is going to be their strength this entire season.
Well, Verlander was a big loss for the Astros.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. Even though, when he was hurt the previous season, they did well fine without him. The Astros are just reloading. That team is stacked. And the Yankees, I think they're going to have to do something before the trade deadline.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think the key, besides their pitching, is going to be getting a big-time blockbuster deal at the deadline to give them that extra push that they could get past the Astros in October.
Yep, that's definitely. It's gonna have to involve bats, not arms.
They got
unless injury kills them.
Which hopefully it doesn't, because that's been something that the Yankees have been dealing with for the past few years.
Severino needs to stay healthy. If Severino stays healthy, I don't see why not.
Their bullpen needs to stay healthy too, because that killed them last year.
The Michael King injury with the broken elbow, he's back. He should be fine.
Yeah.
Clay Holmes should be fine. Loaizaga is a beast.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best reliever in the pen, in my opinion. So we'll see what the things do. I think they need to add bats.
Yeah.
To catch those guys in Houston.
They gotta fill that weak spot sometime soon.
Well, they're gonna have to do it at the trade deadline. That's what they're gonna have to do.
Yeah.
And hopefully, it's a big time name or a big time bat. Either that or the kids need to start hitting.
Yeah, we'll see how the season plays out. If they could get a start like they did last year, that'd be amazing. And I don't think they're going to have that much of a fall off after the break like they did last year. So if they could just keep it level the whole season, win their division, go into the playoffs.
As far as the division is concerned,
I'm not concerned.
I think that's locked.
I
don't see anybody. Blue Jays
maybe, would be,
but the Yankees own the Blue Jays.
Their best competition, and they squashed the Blue Jays last year.
They did. No matter what Vladdy says that the Yankees are the easiest team to play, we squashed you, bro. They squashed you. So no. The Rays.
I don't think
they haven't done much, and I don't think they're looking too good. Orioles are rebuilding still. They're getting better. They're going to be the team of the future soon. But they're not there yet. And the Red Sox. Sorry, Boston. No, I'm not.
Their own fans know that they're depressing.
So. It's bad. It's bad out there in Boston. So I don't see a reason why the Yankees shouldn't easily win their division.
Yeah, the only thing they got standing in their way is the Houston Astros.
Yeah, which they haven't beaten. So they got to do something to change that. And right now, what we have, I don't think they've done that.
I think the only way they could get around that is if they get a miracle upset from someone else that the Astros play, someone who's a team that's having a Cinderella run and beats them miraculously. I think that's the only way that the Yankees could get to the World Series other than getting over that Houston hump.
Well, they're going to have to get over the Houston hump because the World Series is going to run through them. The road to the World Series is going to run through them again. That hasn't changed. But, as a Yankee fans, I'm excited. I'm hoping they do something great. I'm excited to see the new talent, the kids, and go from there, man. But I just can't wait to get it started.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So let's see what goes on. I think they contend big time, and it's just whether they get past the Astros or not. So let's play it out and see what happens.
Yeah. So we're going to get into our hottest take of the week. So what do you got for our hottest take of the week?
My hottest take of the week will involve that left field spot with the Yankees. That empty spot out there. My hottest take of the day is LA Angels will, in order to try to re-sign Shohei Ohtani to the giant contract he is gonna demand and deserve, they will try to free up some money. And meaning freeing up that money is trading the big dog, the legend, the GOAT, Mike Trout.
Oof. It's a heavy one.
Mike Trout will be traded to a contender out east. When I talk about a contender out east, I'm talking our beloved Yankees. I'm talking the Blue Jays. I'm talking the Mets. I'm talking Phillies. I'm talking the Braves. Those 5 teams have a shot at Mike Trout, who will be traded at the trade deadline. So Cash, get your order ready right now, because get your trade in right now and get it together and figure out who you're going to send to the Angels, because that's coming.
Yeah, I think picking up his giant contract is going to definitely be in between guys like the Yankees and the Mets that could afford him. I don't think guys like the Blue Jays or like an Orioles team or a Phillies team could afford him.
Yeah, but...
And plus, if we saw the Phillies with Mike Trout and Bryce Harper, that'd be like the greatest team ever. So that's I doubt that would happen.
The Phillies have been spending money.
They got that much money though?
They've been spending money. You know, the Mets have deep pockets.
Yeah.
The Yankees have deep pockets. So let's see what happens. I think that the Angels choose between Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. And I think they choose Shohei.
That'd be killer for those fans, those poor people.
That's my hot take.
It's a good one. So mine is going to be going back to the Yankees. That in my opinion, I believe they have the best starting rotation in the major leagues right now.
Number one.
The number one
rotation.
And my reason
is right now.
As is right now. And you could argue the Mets.
Are you counting Montas in there, or it doesn't matter who the 5th starter is?
I'll count Montas in there because he'll be back after the first month. And you could argue the Mets. Obviously, they have a great rotation. You could argue the Astros, but I think that the Yankees have the best rotation because of the fact that they got those 2 lefties in there. 2 lefties and 3 righties is very rare, and I think it's something that was much needed and is going to really help the Yankees this season.
Well, the Yankees, you got Cole, Rodon, Nestor, Severino,
and Montes.
And number 5.
And
that's pretty hot.
Cole, who could have a Cy Young year, like I said earlier. Nestor, who was an all-star last year. Rodon, who could potentially have a Cy Young year himself.
Severino, who could return to his old form after he's healthy.
Who's a former all-star. And Montes, the young cat.
And hopefully he returns from his ailments.
So,
they're up there. The Mets have a good rotation. The problem with the Mets is their rotation is old.
That's the thing, too. I'm taking age over legacy. I believe that since the Yankees are younger, they got the little edge over the Mets. Plus, Scherzer got rocked against the Padres in the playoffs.
And the Astros have a good rotation too. The loss of Verlander, we'll see how that affects them. But they got Framber,
who shut out the Yankees in the playoffs.
So big time pitcher. They got good pitching. So, but I think the Yankees do have one of the best rotations in the game right now. I think the Yankees are stacked to win over 100 games very easily.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that's actual contention for a title or it's just some fluff.
I know my take's a bit of a homer take.
You a homer? No, not you. Oh my goodness.
But we'll see how it plays out in the season. So.
Yeah, no, I think they do have one of the best rotations in the league, and we'll see how that plays out. So that's going to do it. Wrap it up for our third show. If you haven't seen the other 2, go back and check them out. I'm George. This is Jordan. Next time we'll be getting into more MLB. It's that time of season. We're going to go baseball heavy.
We're gonna do our preseason predictions, going down every team, where we think they're gonna finish, how we think they're gonna do in the playoffs.
Yep, and then sometime we'll get, before the World Baseball Classic starts, we'll talk about that too. That's gonna be awesome. All-star teams up and down in all those countries. So excited about that. Before we close out, I want to shout out Coach Renaro and the Eastern Eagles, your former squad. Good luck to you boys out there in Pennsylvania this season. The best to all you guys. Take care.
See ya.